Hey everyone, I'm Nadine and welcome to Bookish Nook. Today I am doing the Books to Movie tag, which was created by Obsessed Reader, so I will leave that link down below. But essentially this is a pretty old tag and I wanted to do it, but it's essentially you pick 5 books that you want to see be coming to movies. And with a lot of book to movie adaptations these days coming out, I picked some books that I don't think have been optioned for movie, although I think 2 of them have. But I'll just jump into and explain when I get to that pick. These are in no really particular order. I sort of want to see all of these done into movies. So the first one I want to see come into a movie is Crank by Ellen Hopkins. And if you've seen my first author review video of Ellen Hopkins, you'll know that I'm a massive fan of hers. But essentially Crank follows a girl named Christina Georgia Snow, who ends up going by the name Bree, and her fall into the world of methamphetamines. This is a very heavy and dark story, so if you're not comfortable with mature themes and drugs, especially hard drugs like methamphetamines, this isn't for you. But I think this would be a fantastic book to adopt for a movie. It's written in prose, as you probably know, but I think the story is something that needs to be told because of how devastating drugs can be to an individual's life. So I think this would be a fantastic adaptation, although it would be a super loose adaptation because it's written in prose. I guess that would be a little bit harder to adapt, but I think that just the essence of the story would be enough. The second book that I want to see come into a movie has already been made into a movie, and that is A Series of Unfortunate Events. The first movie that came out was the first 3 books, but I want to see them redone because if I remember correctly, the books are really dark, and the movie sort of especially Count Olaf. Count Olaf is super dark, and he's not funny. He is serious. And in the movie, they picked Jim Carrey, who is a comedic actor, and he made the role funny. And just the outline and timing of the events in the movie were different from the 3 books, which I didn't like again. So I think that if they were to redo it, but in a more serious tone, it would be a lot better. And I know the books are like super short, so they would have to collapse the 3 movies into one again. But I think that they should redo them because this was one of my all-time favorite series, which I plan on rereading soon. The next book I want to see in a movie is Angel Fall by Susan E. And if I am not mistaken, I think this has been optioned for a movie, although that is all the information there is out. If I'm wrong, please correct me down below. But the reason why I want to see this into a movie is not because it's a kick-ass plot and the characters are so awesome and blah blah blah, but there's a lot of description in these books that really lend themselves nicely to a sort of scene in a movie. So the most iconic scene, I guess you could say, from this is in the plot, so it's not a spoiler, is when you see the angel. I think Raffi, I never know how to pronounce his name, but Raffi is getting his wings cut off at the beginning by the other, like bad angels. And I think that would be a super beautiful scene to shoot because you sort of have the destruction of the city in the background, and then you have these crazy beautiful angels with like these massive wings. Then you have Raffi, who is crazy beautiful with his beautiful wings getting cut off, and then the blood sort of spraying on the white wings is just like a sort of it will be really beautiful. And then there's a scene at the end of the book, which I won't talk about, but if you've read it, you know what I'm talking about, would be a really nice scene to see in a movie. So I think that they should definitely do this into a movie, except they cannot change Penryn's character at all, like not even a little bit. She needs to be 100% pulled right from the book because that's what a lot of people like about this book. The third book I want to see is Obsidian by Jennifer L. Armentrout, and if I'm not mistaken as well, this has been optioned for a movie, although there isn't really much information apart from that. If I'm wrong, please correct me down below once again. But I love this series. Jennifer Armentrout is so awesome, and this would just be such a fun, so fun and funny, adventurous story. If you read this book, you know what I'm talking about. The relationship between Katie or Damon or whatever you pronounce it is super. It's just their back and forth banter is hilarious, and I would love to see that come to the screen. This is another one of the books that they cannot change the qualities of the characters because that's what makes the book so interesting. The story so like relatable and fantastic, and the comedy has to be sort of like the comedy right from the book and not that sort of stupid high school comedy like the adaptation of Vampire Academy, which is a teenage movie. I think that this could be aged up a little bit, like every other adaptation, to make it a lot better. And the last book that I'd like to see as a movie is Across the Universe by Beth Revis, and this has been out for a while, I guess, and I'm surprised that this hasn't been optioned for a movie, although I could be wrong. I didn't do any research before doing this video, but I would love to see this trilogy come in as a movie because it's just so fantastic, and there are so many elements and themes that are just so current in our time right now. You know, you have the sort of a balance of power and domination or over, like, you know, like people, and there's just, I don't know, there's just so many themes that really emerge later on in the next two books that are really important in society today. And I just think the overall plot of the story is fantastic and awesome, and it's this mystery and you have no idea what's going on, and it takes place in space, and it's just, I don't know, I think it'd just be so cool. And once again, the characters cannot change. This cover makes it look like it's a love story in space, and it's really not. I was actually surprised when I read through the trilogy, and it's not a love story. I wouldn't classify this as a love story at all. There is a love component, but it is so pushed to the side and on the back burner that it's barely existent. So I think that they would have to keep that as it is for this to be successful and not just another teen movie. So those are the 5 books I'd love to see as a movie or redone, although we all know that's not going to happen. But either way, let me know down below if you've read any of these books and agree with me, you think they should be a movie, or let me know down below what you think what some of your favorite books should be optioned as a movie. Bye!